My name's Emma, and we called Karen about our son Duke when Duke was 6 months old. And basically his story was from a newborn. He was sleeping like a newborn, so he might do 3-hour stints, and in that time I was able to get some good amount of sleep. And like textbook, at around the 4-month mark, he regressed, and it just got worse and worse, and I think I was getting into some really bad habits. I would feed him, I would pat him, I would rock him, and slowly put him down. And as soon as I put him down, within about 5 minutes, he would wake up because, of course, he wasn't on me anymore. And it made everything really difficult. So I wasn't sleeping in my bed, I was sleeping in the nursery. I was not getting any sleep, but I also thought that that was the life of a mother. So my sister Nikki had used Karen's services for her daughter Daisy very successfully, and she had no shortage of glowing things to say about Karen and her abilities, and also was prompting me to call Karen. And for some reason I didn't, and I waited. I think I thought that it would just get better. But instead it just got worse and worse, to the point that I couldn't even really settle him successfully in my arms anymore. The big moment that changed everything for me and made me realize that I needed to call Karen was I was driving with Duke in the car, and I came to and realized that I had just had a micro sleep. So I called Karen, and she luckily was available quite soon. She came that weekend, and I talked through some of my issues, and she reassured me that an overnight stay was the best option as opposed to a 3-hour stay or a Skype call. Karen came into the room with us and explained to us that there were a couple of methods that she used, and within 20 minutes she would know which method was best for Duke. And she assessed that within, I think it was 10 minutes. At that point, emotionally, it was really nice to have someone come in and say that other people have this problem as well, and assure us that you know, all of the habits that we had enforced throughout the whole process could be reverted, and that we could be helped, and you know, we could have a child that slept. So we discussed everything with Karen, and she gave us lots of tips and lots of really useful practical strategies, and also taught us a little bit about the psychology behind Duke's behaviour, and also the reasons why perhaps maybe he wasn't reaching as his developmental goals as rapidly as maybe he could have been. So for me, I think one of the most important things has been the ongoing support from Karen. I think that's what sets her apart from services such as Tresillian. Basically, it is a really difficult thing as a parent to go through the sleep training process, but as Karen reassured me over and over again, it's a really important skill for a baby to have, is to be able to put himself to sleep. Having her support there, and having the support of my husband as well, but also having, you know, the support of a professional person like Karen that knows what she's talking about, has experience in this sort of situation, and just reassuring me that we are doing the best thing for Duke, and the best thing that we could do is to be consistent with everything, rather than putting him through a couple of nights of the training and then reverting, because there were times that I just wanted to quit, but I persevered, and it was definitely for the best. Karen assured me that quite soon after Duke went through the whole sleep training process, Karen assured me that he would reach some developmental milestones that he hadn't reached yet. And I just cannot believe how quickly it all happened. So within a couple of weeks, he was rolling over, he was pushing himself up onto his hands, he was babbling a lot more, using a lot more language. There were just so many changes, and also, you know, he had a massive growth spurt. He really enjoyed his solid foods, and also on an emotional level, he was a much more cuddly, and he was able to concentrate on and focus on certain activities as well, which is something that he wasn't doing before, because he would get frustrated very quickly and throw a mini tantrum. And I think a lot of that was because he was tired.